Yeah, good evening, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of the Education Forum here at Kwangku TV. We welcome you back to this episode and then call you upon this particular topic to witness another educational dialogue or discussion on the Kwangku TV here education platform. With me, a gentleman on the right, of course, is our guest, Mr. Lamin Dabo, and then on the left is the co-host. Today, I am sitting on his seat, Mamoru Sanujalo, Honorable, and we will be discussing the results. We will be analyzing the results, as I told you, or as you were told on the publication, that today the topic is the comparison between the Wassce results of 2023 and then the Wassce results of 2024 has been analyzed by the ministry and why at the level of the delivery or released. Today, we welcome you back, and now we get into the introduction to the guests, and then my co-host. First, the co-host.
All right, thank you, Honorable Bishop. As he earlier highlighted, I am Mamadou Sami Diallo. Thank you, Honorable Buso. As you highlighted earlier, I am Mamadou Sanu Diallo, who usually is the host for this program, but today I am taking the seat of my honorable brother Babukari Buso. He is hosting the program. As he mentioned, we will be discussing about the results of the 2024 WAS examination, and we will make a comparison between the results of the 2023 WAS results and also the 2024. And we will also bring you other further analysis with regards to this year's results. And we have one man who is armed to do that for us, Mr. Lamin, if I'm right. Islam.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Mr. Lamin is the right knot for that bolt. So he will be taking us through as the program continues. Mr. Buso, back to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Jallo, and then welcome to this program, Mr. Davo.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will quickly take you through who Mr. Davo is before we tell you what we are going to do with him today. Mr. Davo is a veteran teacher, of course, a seasoned teacher now, born and bred at Woolly Brevet or Brefoot. Brefoot, you are Mr. Davo, of course, gained his or attained his education at the basic level at Fodekunda Basic Cycle School, where he attended from 1 to 9. And again, he proceeded to Muslim Senior Secondary School, where he attended his senior secondary school education, then later to Nemashu, where he completed. At tertiary, of course, Mr. Lamin Dabo had attended HGC from 2013 to 2016, and that will explain why he is also my contemporary on that particular matter. He majored English language and mathematics. One of the few teachers who will combine the two. Mr. Davo also got a certificate at management studies at MDI in 2014. He also has an experience in teaching at Charles Jau Charles Jau Memorial Academic, of course, from 2015 to 2016. That could be his teaching practice. I believe, Mr. Davo, that is the case. Nyamina Dankunku also is where he was also posted from 2016 to 2017 to 2017 to 2018. He also taught at Fodekunda also from 2018 to 2019, and again he taught until 2021. Mr. Dabo also is now at the University of the Gambia, a 400 level course student majoring in mathematics and minoring in English language. You could see the combination again. Mr. Davo, you are welcome to this particular program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes. First, our topic is the WASCE results. Did you see the results, Mr. Davo?
Okay. Thank you very much. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I am very, very honored to be part of this program today. It is indeed a pleasure. As far as education is concerned, in this country, we are always part and parcel of the educational issues. And then, as far as this year's results are concerned, we've seen some improvements comparing it to last year. Though we will get into that, and we've also seen some lapses. We will also discuss how those things have happened. But thank God, I can say there is an improvement in both numbers and achievements as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
that means you are impressed with the performance this year compared to last year.
Yeah, one could say if you compare it to last year, it is impressive. But then, generally, I think there is a lot to be done.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, we will come back to that. I will leave you to Mr. Jallo, my co-host, to engage you on one or two questions.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dabo. Welcome to the program. And also to remind our viewers, they are watching Konku TV, the Education Hour. As usual, we always give you the in-depth details of every contemporary issue in education. You can have that issue discussed here on the Education Forum at Konku TV. So you can follow our handles, send us your comments, your contributions, and also your suggestions to move this program further. And Mr. Lamin, let me just begin before we get into this analysis. Let me begin by asking this question, like the general overview, not comparing the last year's result, but this year's result. How do you see it? Is it a very good performance, or is it a good performance, or is it a poor performance, based on your honest analysis on the results that are out?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jallo, for that question. I think generally people are very, very impressed with this year's results. But then, if you go deeply into the results, you will realize that there are a lot of issues that people are not understanding. If you look at this year, it's about 18,042 students who registered and sat for this year's examination. And out of these 18,042 students, generally in the Gambia, whether University of the Gambia, Gambia College, MDI, GTTI, or any other tertiary institution, mostly they will ask 3 credits and above. If you are below 3 credits, it is likely that you will not have any tertiary institution to further your education. And then looking at the results this year, from out of 18,000, I'm sorry, because 18,042, it is only 17,172 candidates whose results are completed. That means there are still few results, about 870, that are still under process. But then out of these 17,172 results, one could realize that it is only 6,210 candidates who scored 3 credits and above. So out of 17,000, only 6,210 scored 3 credits and above. Which left with 10,962 candidates below 3 credits. Now, even if there are institutions who are accepting 1 credit, 2 credits as a requirement, yet we have about 11,479 candidates who scored 1 credit and above.
And below?
No, 1 credit and above. From 1 credit to 9 credits, we have about, out of 17,172 candidates whose results are completed, it is about 11,471 candidates who scored 1 credit and above, leaving behind 5,693 candidates with flat failures. In a country where about 5,000 candidates in a particular year could have flat failures, how do you see? It's terrible to me. But then, as time goes on, we know it is going to be improved. But again, the number of students who got flat failures, who got F9, I call this Fatu Fama Fata Faransi Fadi, meaning everything F. It's very terrible. It's terrible.
So,
though we also have seen some improvements when it comes to credits and stuff like that, because about 1,389 candidates scored 5 credits and above, including English and mathematics, which is very commendable. That's wonderful. But looking at those students who scored 5 credits and those students who scored no credits. Normally at the University of the Gambia is 5 credits.
Yeah.
Now, if we should compare these two, those candidates with flat failure and those candidates with 5 credits and above, whether English or mathematics is included or not, let's only look at candidates with 5 credits. That's 3,317 students with 5 credits and above.
Yeah.
And then we have 5,693 with flat failures, no credits.
Okay.
So to me, there is a lot to be done.
Essentially, you are saying that the staggering number that is left behind without anything to present is higher.
It's very high.
It's very
high. And that means we need to do something.
Exactly.
So
what advice do you have to give, to the authorities now? Hence, it is only the greater part that we are shown. The part that you have just highlighted is not shown. And this number also is significant to our notice. And then they should be placed somewhere. What should we do now to better the results? Maybe when we take it the next year or any other year.
Thank you very much. I think it is not only the authorities that should be, put into picture.
Yeah.
As far as education is concerned, the authority, meaning the government, which might include the school authorities, the principal, the teachers.
So,
but then the parents as well, and then the students themselves should all be part of this process.
Very well.
That is where the importance of the role of PT is going to be involved.
Yeah.
Parent Teachers Association,
the PTA. Yes.
The PTA. Schools should always call on parents to have a dialogue as to how they can remedy this situation.
So,
what needs to be done at each school level, because you might, introduce a particular method that will work for you, work for the students in your school, in collaboration with the parents and the authority, but might not work for school-wide. Therefore, each school at the school level, schools should come together, or school authority and the parents should come together and see what they can do for the kids. And to me, sometimes there are factors that are leading to these mass failures or this, huge number of students failing. One is, it's like students are over-empowered. Many people are trying to teach students their rights without telling them their responsibilities.
Yes.
And this is a big problem that we are facing now. Teachers are teaching, fearing for their life. Because recently we've seen students, kids, not even students, kids, going to school with guns. It was terrifying. We've seen students taking their teachers to police station.
So, that's okay.
And these are some of the things, though I have never been a victim, but it is going to serve as a lesson for me and any other teacher to be very careful. And as far as we are careful, we might not give what is necessary. And if we are giving and they are not responding positively, we cannot take more severe, measures to make sure they do what is right. We were taken care of, sometimes severely, and our parents were not defending us. But nowadays, we have a problem with the student, the parents are defending the student, no matter what. And that is terrible.
Yeah.
So I think, and materials as well. Teaching and learning materials are lacking in this country.
Yeah.
And you cannot have a proper education if you do not have proper weapons.
Yeah.
In a war zone, a soldier without a gun, without anything, is likely to lose his or her life.
Yeah, that's right.
Before you even realize it.
Yeah.
That's another factor.
That's right.
And again, I think the most important thing, teachers are not motivated in this country. And that is another crucial factor.
Yeah, we will come to that one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we will come to the teacher motivation. Actually, that is a very much key, area that we have discussed last week. It was teacher motivation that we discussed here, and how it is a key to the success in enhancement of quality education. And that could also explain why quality is still hanging there on the neck of those people who cannot even provide them. But we have seen a diversion. Whenever we talk about motivation, authorities come out and tell us that we have scarce resources. But we will come to that indeed. Mr. Jallo, you have heard the analysis, and yeah, it is very much significant that we understand that there is a staggering number that is languishing that we cannot place anywhere in this after the examination is done. But we have also seen what Mr. Davo has highlighted, such that you will see teachers are scared, they fear for the fact that the classroom is no longer safe. I've seen victims. Of course, I'm not a victim of that, but I've seen victims. I've seen people who have been to the police station. I've seen people who were reported and their cases were filed. I've seen people who definitely struggle to build children and see that they succeed. But in the end, it is their effort that was just futile in their trials, and they serve as victims. So of course you have had the gun not being an apparatus that is used in education, but yet it was witnessed, it was seen in the classroom. So, and the guns can be replaced with other things. You also mentioned about the materials that are lacking in the school system. Yeah, if you are a teacher, you understand that, yes, not the adequate materials that you require are provided for you. Instead, there are always excuses that have been given. So now, where do you think? Okay, yeah, definitely it is a concern, as just you just highlighted that teachers need motivation, but motivation is not given to them. We need materials that we use, and especially mathematics. You are a both mathematics and English language teacher, and you know the concern that or the resources that mathematics require. And what do you think is lacking in if you come to resources that are used with mathematics? What are the resources that are necessarily available or not available, but they are being demanded by mathematics teachers? You can mention them. Let's hear.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
When it comes to resources, people have a diverse, views on those kind of issues, because at times you go into this market or you go into the system, you see a different kinds of, let's say, textbooks. So these are some essential materials that every teacher would need. And then there are certain textbooks, perhaps, they are very scanty, meaning the information contained, the examples in those books are not enough. But because of the prices, people opt for those kind of textbooks. But there are a few textbooks also that are very expensive, but they are very useful. Books like Archeolas, though it's very expensive, but the book is well documented, well represented. Information in the book is very okay. Okay, then not only not only books, but then as far as mathematics is concerned, every teacher needs trainings. After your qualification, let's say perhaps from the Gambia College or from the University of the Gambia, professional trainings, especially mathematics, teachers, because mathematics is an area where you need to be dealing with formulas, you need to be dealing with laws, you need to be dealing with properties, you need to be dealing with rules. And there are certain rules or laws that you need to be updating yourself.
That's okay.
To get used to them. Because if not, it is going to be a very troubling, circumstances at times, for you to deal with certain, topics. When you are not being trained to see the updated versions, when you are not being trained to see the simplified ways of, solving or tackling any, things that are necessary, sometimes it becomes a problem.
That's okay.
So there are a lot of, I can say it's just all, all subjects have almost similar issues when it comes to materials.
Very well.
So,
yeah, like I am an English language teacher and also literature. I want to specialize in literature, for instance, but I've been teaching it for many years, and I want to run away now from literature now because of the pending factor that you have just mentioned.
Very good.
Like as a literature teacher, I don't have, required materials, especially the text. The children will not want to buy them, or the school, when you approach them for any text, for instance, that is relevant to your coverage, they will be telling you that it is the ministry who should buy them, or we are told not to buy books as principles. So you could have relied on the SIG to say that maybe the SIG is catering for textbooks, but the ministry or the principals will tell us that it is the ministry that should provide them. So where do you think the problem lies? I think I will allow you to answer that question. Otherwise, I will give you a follow-up question from Mr. Jallo.
Okay, thank you very much. I think, for me, it's like lack of proper dialogue and communication, because though there is always SIG, but then at times SIGs are very late to be paid, and at the ministerial level, perhaps, though I cannot say for certain this is the cause of why things are not doing the way they should, or why books or textbooks are not provided on time. But I'm very sure if there is a proper communication, there's a communication channel between the teachers, principals, and then the ministry, there can be some provisions. You cannot ask kids not to buy when you are not providing. And at the end, it is the kids that are going to be victims. So therefore, for me, it's like if the ministry cannot provide, let them allow kids to buy, because education is very expensive. You cannot be educated if you are not spending. You need to spend in order to gain. But if you want to rely 100% on aid, on support from either ministry or wheresoever, your time will be wasted. Perhaps your results could be affected. So therefore, to me, the ministry should allow schools, if possible, to see how best they can make these materials available, to have contingency plans, plan Bs, in case if ministry is late to deliver text. What else will school principals now use? What strategies are they going to use in order to have this material so that kids will not be any more victims? Because otherwise, it is not the teachers that will lose, it is not the authority that is losing, it is not the principal or the school administration, but it is the kids who you ask not to buy, and now they are crying because of that. So to me, it is not fair.
Yeah, thank you very much for that addition. Now let's go back to the analysis a little bit.
Thank you.
Yes, looking at the report from the ministry, it is highlighted that about 23.8% this year credited mathematics, which I think is a very good improvement.
So
Yes, compared to the previous years, because previously mathematics has always been a problem. You are a math teacher and you know how students run away from your subjects. But it's like the trend is changing now.
yes,
But don't you think English language is also now affected? Though it is not indicated
the report.
in the report by the ministry, but from the results making rounds, one can predict there are lapses when it comes to English language. And English language is a prerequisite for entrance into the University of the Gambia and other tertiary institutions. What would be your take on that?
Okay, thank you very much. First, you were talking about mathematics. It was indeed a pleasure for us.
I think you deserve a tap on the
So,
back.
so it is indeed a pleasure for every mathematics teacher in the country to see those kind of improvements. It is never easy. But then as far as I am concerned, as a mathematics teacher, I always try to encourage my students that, mathematics is not difficult. Looking at the subject, even in United States of America or even in United Kingdom, 1 plus 1 is still 2. You go anywhere in the world, 1 plus 1 is 2. There is nobody who will tell you, no, 1 plus 1 is 1.9 or, 2.1. 1 plus 1 is always, so it's a logical subject though, but it's very unique. So the only problem why students are running from mathematics is perhaps one, their influence. You had your friends saying math is difficult, you believe in them, you never tried. And this is the main reason why people are running away from math. You ask someone, will tell you, I've never tried. From grade 7, you had students saying math is difficult, grade 7. Coming from lower basic, you are saying mathematics is difficult. How do you know it is difficult? Because you had your friends talking about it. You believe that it is difficult, you never bothered yourself. You also took that as it is difficult. But if you should try yourself, try challenging or try to see whether or not it is actually difficult, then you will enjoy it. I think now students are now realizing that instead of believing that it is difficult, let us try and see whether or not it is really difficult. So to me, and mathematics teachers are also, I can say, let me thank my brothers and sisters, my seniors. They are really doing well.
Your maths colleagues,
Yes, my brothers and sisters, let me call them my seniors.
Yeah,
they are doing well.
You are doing well, but English is going down.
English is going down.
Yeah,
That's
and you know why I brought that up is because English and language are both English language and mathematics are both prerequisite subjects for entrance into the University of the Gambia, and most especially English language, because English language is required in all the other subjects. You require English to understand mathematics.
Most definitely.
You require English to do computer science.
So,
you require, because it is the language, it is the medium of communication at the university. Do you think if mathematics is increasing in this trend, 23.8% only this year, an increment of 23.8% is huge for mathematics? Yes, it is huge, and that is commendable. But English language is not shown. I don't know whether the ministry realized that the English is improving or it is still stagnant where it was. Don't you think it would have been necessary to also indicate the percentage of increment or decrement in English language? Don't you think that also could have been indicated?
Yeah, so perhaps it could be, the reason is best known to them, but like the of English language, it is disheartening, it is very unfortunate. But then, to me, it's like students, most of the students in the Gambia have phones, mobile phones. And most of the students in the Gambia do chat through their phones. And if you are very attentive, paying attention to most of these students chatting, using SMS or whatsoever, look at the language they are using. And in English language, you know, specifically in continuous writing, every mistake is deduction. Every mistake is deduction. Now, you want to write, let's say, Y-O-U. Most of the students will only write U as a letter. And if you cannot write words in full, how many words are you writing, you know, like that? Or using acronyms or something like that. And each of these attracts punishment. At the end, how many % of mark will you have from that continuous writing? It's going to be a problem. And to me, it's like many teachers perhaps are not paying attention to that. You know, it got up to a extent where students cannot even spell words now, simply because they are not interacting with words. They are only interacting with their own choice of words. You want to spell a word, you spell it the way you feel like you want to spell it, because you believe the person you are sending it to will understand the way you spell it. And that is how you now take it as it should be spelled. Now you go to the examination hall, you still use the same way of spelling that particular word or those set of words. It is affecting you, but perhaps you do not know.
Yeah, you are very accurate. It happened to me. Somebody texted me and say TU. So I hardly understand what it meant until I asked. I say, what is TU? Sorry, TY, as in TY. So I don't know that abbreviation, for instance. I asked, what is TY? The person came back to me, said, yeah, don't worry about it. I said, no, I want to know, because I don't know actually what it means. So the person came back and said it means thank you. But you know, TY
stands for thank,
yes,
Y stands for you.
And thank you, yeah. So but we have also seen, you have highlighted maybe the factors that are responsible for the failure in English language. Where you are highlighting is mechanical accuracy, where students actually do score 0. But I have gone through the chief examiner's report in English language, and I have realized a contradiction somehow in the report, that students have improved in writing, and also in writing both essays and letters. But where they are short is summary and comprehension. But again, when they talk about the writing skills, they said on the weaknesses, that was on the strength. On the weaknesses, it is students are not able to construct very good sentences. So I don't understand how are they able to improve in their writing skills when they cannot construct very good sentences. Yes, you see, I saw a contradiction. What do you have to talk about that?
I think, like you said, it's a big contradiction. You know, summary and comprehension will be better if continuous writing is okay. Everything is on continuous writing. If you cannot construct a sentence, how can you analyze a sentence? This is the problem. You know, students should be very, very careful with their wordings. Everything starts with words. If you do not understand a word, you cannot use it in a sentence. And if you cannot use it in a sentence, you cannot analyze it from a sentence, from a given sentence. And when it comes to summary and comprehension, they are trying to test your ability of understanding and also analyzing. But in continuous writing, whether it is letter writing, whether it is argumentative, whether it is stories, whatsoever, they are now trying to test your ability of vomiting whatever you have in you. You know,
that is expression.
Expression. You have to express and express well. And where you cannot express, you are in trouble. So therefore, I think, to me, the problems, the higher percentage of the problems in English language is the problem of writing. Students should write, even if they are texting, chatting. In fact, chatting is a medium where one can be very good in English language. If you are chatting daily and you are writing words in full, each word you use a day will still be in your score. It's like it is going to be attached to your memory. Are you seeing? You will also know the meaning of those words. You know, whether dictionary or contextually, you will know the meanings. And
yes,
then
that is that is right. That is right. Okay, so back to the analysis again. Yes, from the report, about 6,943 students, that is 38.4% were male. 11,099 were female, representing 61.52%. So this is a difference of about 4,156. So you see, there is a huge difference. There is a very big gap between the male registration and the female registration. What are some of the factors to this, do you think?
Thank you very much. I think I have to first and foremost congratulate the female candidates. Over the years, they have been doing okay. They have been wonderful. And even in 2023, they were leading. 2024, they are still leading. So out of 13,042 candidates, about 11,099 are female candidates. Usually, over the years, it was not like that. And then 6,943 are male candidates, which is about 38.48%. And then this one is 61.52%. Is alarming as far as male candidates are concerned. But then, for me, it's like the factors responsible to that could be one, that is this backway issue. So, the number of females taking this backway is very minimal. But the number of male or male youths taking this backway yearly is alarming. And most of those who are taking this journey, like approximately 60 or more % are coming back. And then even if you are in grade 12 and you decided to go, once you are back, they never want to go back to school again. You see, they will either stay like that, frustrating themselves that I want to go back, I should do this, I should do that. If you go and you could not succeed, come and continue with your education. Or continue with Europe is easy to get. You have to follow the right channels. We all want to go to Europe. That's what I told my students. I said, if someone should throw a visa now here, if you get it, maybe you overpowered me. Yes, I want to go. So do everybody, perhaps. But then I see that, going through this back ways, there are a lot of frustrations. Whether or not you get to where you're going to, you never know. You might not get there. So this is in fact, this is a big challenge. This is one of the main reasons why the number of male candidates is dropping. And also I think, secondly, what will I say? I said male candidates is like, some of them, even though they are not going through back way, but because to me they are now lacking, motivations and stuff like that. Much attention is given to female candidates. That girl education matters, girl education matters, girl education matters. Now we are talking about male education matters. I think now the advocates should also put into consideration that while this one is improving, this one is declining. So therefore, let us put some effort. Let us give some advantages to male, students as well, so that it improves. Because not only the number of candidates, but like to me, it's like female candidates are doing well, not only by number, but by performance. By performance, they are defeating. Because looking at this year, if you wouldn't mind, looking at this year, out of 1,389 candidates who scored 5 credits and above, including English and mathematics, there again, the number of females is high. Yes, because about 598 candidates, which is 43.05% of that number, are male. But yet 791 candidates, again, are female. Are you seeing? Which is about 56.5 something, 56 point something, 56.95%, again, are female. So it's like,
it is evident that the females
very good. They are doing better
than the males,
so
even both in number and in
performance. So there could be a lot of factors, responsible for that.
Yeah, actually, you have highlighted very, very important points, as the topic definitely demands, especially in the performance of girls. Not only that they outnumbered them in terms of number, in the gender, but also they outperform them in terms of performance. So we have seen your highlight about the males, of course, taking the route, the irregular migration, and then we are seeing them languishing in sea, being swallowed or being lost for good. Actually, we are about to lose time, and we would want, before you tell us your last words, then let me leave you to Mr. Jallo, and I will definitely end the program.
Thank you. Overall, I believe it is great. It is a great analysis from Mr. Davo there, and from the looks of things, the male candidates really need to double up, because both in number and both in performance, the female candidates are performing or outnumbering the male candidates. And to remind the viewers, they are watching Kuonku TV for development, and this is your favorite show, that is the Education Hour on Kuonku TV. And as always, we'll bring you people that will discuss about the contemporary issues like this issue we are discussing here today. And with us was Mr. Lamin Dabo, who has just given us analysis with regards to this year's results. And I believe parents out there, teachers, administrators would also do the same thing to analyze these results and see where the country is doing better and where there are hiccups, and put in the right things, the right tools, and the right resources to ameliorate these hiccups. But before we end this program, I will hand over the mic to the host, Mr. Babukari Buso, who would wrap the program up and allow our guest for this program to give his last word for this program. Mr. Buso, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Mamadou Sani Jallo, the Honorable Minister under the School of Education. Of course, is one assistant, Mr. Malcolm X Jr. Mr. Jallo, thank you very much for being the co-host here today. Mr. Dabo, what do you have to tell the viewers? Your last word, please, to the viewers.
Thank you very much. I think the first thing I would say, like I was saying before, about 10,962 candidates got less than 3 credits. This is very alarming,
So,
and I would encourage them not to relax and think that they are failures.
so,
No one is a failure. It could be because of one thing or the other, you could not have your desired result. Then therefore, I will solicit, let them not sit and go back, either back to school or prepare themselves through whatever means to bounce back, because otherwise it is going to be a problem. So on that note, I'm very, very grateful to be given this opportunity to come and speak to Gambian people about the results, though perhaps maybe people are not aware of all that has happened. Even though, and we are hopeful that the rest of the results that are not published will have some effects on the positive sides. We hope and pray that the 870 results still not completed, not ready. Once they are done, we pray that they are all 9 credits or 5 and above, including English and mathematics. So on that note, I am very grateful and I'm very thankful, and then I'm looking forward to be having such platforms, in a subsequent times, because it's very necessary for Gambians to be educated, to be also informed on issues that matters as far as education is concerned.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Davo, for coming. And indeed, viewers, this was all we have time for. It is the Kwanko TV that you were watching. It is the Education Forum here at Kwanko TV. My co-host was Mr. Mamadou Sani Jallo, who is the host here. I am Bahugari Ebuso sitting in for him. And you will understand that, of course, the malpractices are also part of the things that we do not analyze here, but they are the reasons why some of the results were withheld. And we will see whether they will be published in the positive side, as Mr. Dabo alluded. Until we come your way again, this was the Education Forum here at Kwanko TV. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Until we come your way again. Thank you.